Hey, I'm Jonathan, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about my 5 top reasons you should doubt your faith. And before we jump into that, I wanted to clarify 2 things. One, when I say faith, I mean any worldview. So that's not just a religious faith, even though normally we associate faith with religion. But in my view, reality isn't always black and white. So even if you're atheist or agnostic, there is some faith at the end of the day that we take the evidence to its final limit, and then there's always a leap. So even if you're atheist or agnostic, when I say faith, I mean you as well as every other religious person. And second, I wanted to clarify that the point of this video isn't to strip away anything that you may find near and dear to you. The point is hopefully to convey that we shouldn't be afraid to actively observe the other person's views. Why do you disagree with me? Why is your worldview, your religion so reversed to mine? Why do you think that reality is different than I do? I think we walk around on eggshells far too much. I think it's so easy to want to get along with everyone that we don't actually have conversations about the most important questions in life. Even if you go all the way down to the most fundamental question, how the heck did we get here? Why are we here? What is life? I don't think we talk about that, and we get consumed with gas prices and what we should do on a Saturday morning. What careers should we pursue? And those are important things, sure, but to not have questions and conversations with people that disagree with you on the most important questions in life, I think we're cutting ourselves short. I think we are missing something. So the point of this video is to hopefully give you my top 5 reasons why we should lean into these questions and conversations. So let's jump in. Number 1, your faith is probably wrong. This might be the most important point to consider. And I can hear everyone saying, well, Jonathan, you don't even know who I am. You don't even know who I believe. You just said, oh, I could be atheist. I could be agnostic. I could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these different religions. How can you say I'm probably wrong about my religion? Well, let me explain. If we were to type into Google how many religions there have been, you would see something like 10,000 different religions, spanning over tens of thousands of years. And mine, your worldview, my religion is just one of those. Let that sink in. For tens of thousands of years, people have believed things, worshipped things, viewed the world in different ways based on where they were born, how they were raised, what they were taught. And you and I came onto the scene at a very particular time, in a very particular place, and were raised a certain way. It's very clear that where you were born and when you were born are very clear indicators of what religion or worldview you would eventually have. And before all of the people with any kind of philosophical reasoning throw in the comments, oh, that's the genetic fallacy. It doesn't mean that just because you know where an idea came from that it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. But knowing that your worldview, your religion, is one of 10,000 that is based on when and where you were born, the vast majority, the probability of whoever I'm talking to right now, your religion is probably wrong. I don't need to know who you are. I don't need to know what religion you have. Most of them are probably wrong. That's the point. And maybe you think, oh, well, out of those 10,000 religions or worldviews, most of them are really small or extinct, and therefore clearly those weren't the right ones and mine's right. Clearly nobody still believes on a global scale that Zeus is the king of heaven. Clearly that's the wrong one, and clearly one of these other religions or worldviews is right. But just because people believe in a small amount or in a large amount in an idea, it has no bearing on whether or not that idea is true. And just because people believe something now and didn't before, or believe something before and don't believe it now, it doesn't mean that one or the other has any more or less bearing on reality. What matters is good reasons to believe whatever religion we do or whatever worldview we do, which is the point. So could you have theoretically been born in the perfect time, in the perfect place to believe something that is actually 100% true? Yes, you could have. But that would have a lot to do more with luck than the type of evidence normally we point to for believing whatever it is we believe. And I want to let this 10,000 number sink in a little bit. So a quick story, if you'll allow me. So I grew up playing cards a lot, poker with my brother and friends. And if you have a whole bunch of immature kids growing up playing cards, eventually someone's going to have the funny idea to get the deck of cards and just chunk it in the air and play, you've called it, 52 card pickup. And what that is virtually what I just said. You just chunk the cards as a joke and everybody picks it up. But let's say you were to play a gambling game with that. You just chunk all 52 cards, they're all face down, and you say, okay, let's all pick up 3 cards at random. We have no idea where any of the cards are, and whoever gets the best hand wins, aces being the highest. Let's say you go first. And so out of those 52 cards, you randomly pick up one. Holy crap, it's an ace. You got super lucky. But okay, cool, let's go on. You pick up a second card. Oh my goodness, it's another ace. What is happening? You just got pocket aces out of nowhere. That's amazing. And then you pick up your third card and you guessed it, it's another ace. That has a chance of 1 in 5,525. Your religion being correct has a chance of 1 in 10,000. And unlike cards where you could theoretically just keep playing 52 card pick up this gambling game and eventually you'd get all aces, sure, like you do it 5,525 times, you're almost guaranteed to get it. Your religion and worldview that is primarily based on when and where you were born, you can't just keep being born in different times and places until you get it right. You only did it once and somehow you got trip aces. Actually, you got trip aces, and that's way more likely than your religion being right out of the 10,000. Think about that. Therefore, whatever worldview or religion you were brought up into, it's statistically probably not the right one. And therefore, what we need is good evidence to support the fact that this is the right one, to show that actually against all the odds that were all stacked against us, this 10,000 to 1 odds, no, actually, this is the right one. And maybe you have already done that. Maybe you have realized the odds, gone back to the drawing board, followed the evidence, and now have arrived at something that you believe is supported by evidence. That's awesome. That's the goal. But to be honest, I think most people don't do that. And so my encouragement is to do it with me, to look at the odds, say, wow, they're stacked way against me. Let's look at the evidence and follow it to where it goes. If you do that, you're going to end in one of 3 camps. 1, you figure out, oh, wow, I actually was right. Like my worldview, my religion is true. 2, you realize, oh my gosh, it wasn't true. I was wrong. Or 3, you end up just realizing, I don't know. The evidence doesn't take me far enough and I need to keep looking. But all 3 of those are better than doing nothing. So I encourage you to take a leap. Number 2, if you do all that work and your religion does turn out to be correct, you will have greater confidence knowing that it's true and living within its confines. This goes for every worldview, again, including atheist agnostic. Every worldview drastically changes the way that we see the world, interact with people, make decisions, etc. If your worldview is right, like actually right, you'll feel more confident living within that worldview and possibly sharing that awesome news with other people. Number 3, if you do that work and you realize you're wrong, you can stop living within its confines and stop indoctrinating other people into whatever that worldview is. Now, that word indoctrinating is primarily used in a religious context. I'm using it for any worldview. If we're wrong about the lens through which we see the world, we can change that lens. Our religion and worldview dictates so much about our lives. What we think is good, or even if good exists, if morality exists, how we view sex, finances, purpose, the afterlife, heaven and hell, do those even exist? If you realize that your view on those issues is incorrect, you can stop living within those confines and stop sharing that with others. Number 4, intellectual integrity. Now let's say you start down that rabbit hole and at the end you realize you're still unsure. That can be disheartening. Trust me, I know. I talk about that more in my previous video, Why I'm a Hopeful Skeptic. But at least you have intellectual integrity. You know that you're willing to follow the evidence wherever it goes. You're not stuck in fear of the unknown, but instead can confidently wade into those waters to see what's out there and hopefully one day find out. And lastly, number 5, the 5th reason you should doubt your worldview or religion. It will help you be more inquisitive of other areas. Yes, religion, but also politics, money, morality, etc. Wherever you end up after searching, you'll learn the invaluable lesson of questioning the status quo. With this, the information age, it's so easy just to be a consumer of content, a consumer of whatever is given to you, whatever is put in front of you. Our communities shape who we vote for. Our neighbors influence how we spend our money. Our families determine our morality, and then we shake all that up in a search engine optimized echo chamber, and boom, it's you. It's a wonder how we can ever think for ourselves. Forcing yourself to consider the possibility that you're wrong or doubt can be extremely rewarding. Consider how many terrible things have happened through history that wouldn't if someone had stopped and just thought, wait, are we right? Should we second guess what we're doing? Maybe this girl that we're drowning isn't actually a witch in that it's just the dry season and so it hasn't rained in a while. Or consider the opposite, when things are good because someone had questioned the status quo. Think of inventors, like when we thought, oh, we need more horses. No, actually, we need an automobile. Learning to question the status quo is an invaluable tool. So there you have it, folks. Those are my 5 top reasons you should doubt your faith. And again, the point of making this video isn't to try to tear something that you hold dear away from you, but instead to encourage you to question what it is you believe, to see if really is it true or not. Then we can live with our eyes wide open to explore the questions that our very existence brings. And I believe that that is a great life. So yes, I hope that this video has caused you to question or doubt your worldview, even if it's just temporarily. And whether it has caused that or not, let me know in the comments. Peace.